Hello and welcome to another standard Amonkhet deck take here on Cheapest MTG. Today we're going to go over a deck which has always been near to my heart and has a new iteration with the release of Amonkhet, and that is black-white token. So as you'd expect, with any token strategy, we really can't avoid playing for Gideon ally of Zendikar. The card's just a powerhouse of standard that pumps out tokens every turn, and really there is no substitution for it in the current standard format. Gideon is just a super powerful card, and you do need 4 of it in this deck. We also play some of the new Amonkhet gods. We play 3 copies of Bontu the Glorified. Bontu is a 3-mana 4/6 that can't stack unless a creature you control has died this turn. Luckily, being a tokens deck, we have a number of creatures to sacrifice, and we have ways to benefit from sacrificing our creatures, so Bontu works quite nicely in this deck. We also play 2 copies of Aketra. Aketra can only attack if you have 3 or more other creatures, but she's a 3/6 double strike indestructible for 4 mana, and her ability is that she can produce more tokens, which is particularly useful in this deck, gives us some long range grind. As a tokens deck, we have to have plenty of ways to produce tokens. We're going to start with a new 4 mana enchantment out of Amonkhet that really incentivizes and really rewards playing a token strategy. This is Anointed Procession. Anointed Procession reads that if an effect would create 1 or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many tokens instead. So every time we play a token producer, we get twice as many. It's a really good card to exploit. It means when you activate Aketra, you get 2 tokens. When you activate Gideon, you get 2 tokens. As a 4 mana enchantment, it is quite expensive, but in a long game, you're going to get a lot of value out of this card, hence why we're playing 3 of it. By no means necessary, the deck can run without this card. Just Anointed Procession makes the deck even stronger. Lower down the curve for token production, we play 3 copies of Servo Exhibition. It's a nice way to get 2 bodies onto the board on turn 2. We also play 3 copies of Cartouche Solidarity. The Cartouche for me represents great value. You get a 1/1 creature token for 1, which is an acceptable value, I think. The creature you get to place your aura on then gets +1/+1 in first strike. With a load of tokens, we would expect a good number of bodies to attach the aura to. Also has other benefits and other synergies with the rest of the deck. We also play 3 copies of Hidden Stockpile. Hidden Stockpile in this deck is kind of like Bitter Blossom. It's a weird comparison to make because it is nowhere near as powerful. But we have Bontu, which rewards us for sacrificing creatures, and we have Anointed Procession that if we sacrifice a creature, 2 will take its place. So Hidden Stockpile allows us to keep a flow of tokens coming. This deck has been built in a similar way to the black-white token decks in Modern, with token-producing cards and a lot of disruption otherwise. So we play 3 copies of Fatal Push as one of our removal spells, 2 copies of Never to Return, which is both a removal spell and a token producer, 3 copies of Stasis Snare as another removal spell, and 3 copies of the new Lay Bare the Heart as some hand disruption. We also play 1 copy of the new card Stir the Sands. 3 2/2 zombies for 6 mana is not a particularly bad deal. It's reasonable value. And obviously this is a very strong card if we can play this after having played Anointed Procession, because we would get 6 2/2 zombies for 6 mana. We are only playing 1 of because it is quite expensive, but it does have cycling, so it does mitigate the negative of it being an expensive card. We also play 2 copies of Trial of Solidarity. Trial of Solidarity is an overrun effect, giving all our creatures +2/+1 and vigilance, and it works really nicely with the cartouches, as when we play a cartouche we can return it to our hand, so we can play the same trial again and again. Onto the mana base. It's a fairly simple 2-colour deck, so we play 4 copies of Shambling Vent and 4 copies of Concealed Courtyard. We also play 3 copies of Westvale Abbey, which is obviously at its strongest in a tokens deck. And we round out the rest of the mana base with 7 basic swamps and 7 basic plains. You could play some Forsaken Sanctuaries here if you really want to, but I don't think the deck needs any more tap lands. On to sideboarding. Black-white is fairly flexible on sideboarding and has the ability to go in a few different ways, so it's really metagame dependent here. But here are some options you may want to consider. You could go down a more Super Friends route. You are already playing Gideon and the Gods. You could add in some Planeswalkers like Obnixlis Reignited, Sorin Grim Nemesis, Liliana the Last Hope if you needed her, and go for a black-white controlling Super Friends archetype. If you needed it, you could also go for some more hand disruption. Transgress the Mind is particularly good. It exiles cards like Scrapheap Scrounger, so stops them coming back. And targeting any card with mana 3 or greater, it tends to get the cards you're going to need to get out your opponent's hand. Against aggressive decks, Anointer Priest is a new card out of Amonkhet that certainly offers some life gain potential. Also with Embalm, so it's great value. Even if it gets killed, you're going to be able to recast it. Aven Mind Center strikes me as another good sideboard card against some decks. Cards that rely on searching their library for specific cards. For example, if they use Transverse the Ulvenwald, or even something as simple as a tune with Ether, Aven Mind Center can help shut them down. And also going all the way back to Zendikar, Retreat to Emeria is a 4-mana enchantment that has landfall that will allow you to produce allies or pump your team when you need it, so it's fairly flexible. Can be quite good in grindy games, so this deck doesn't particularly have a way to abuse landfall. Just naturally playing a land a turn can make Retreat a reasonable card. And finally, some more specific answers in your sideboard. Fragmentize is going to be good against vehicles and anything relying on artifacts. Fragmentize can deal with Aetherworks Marvel and Dimewalt Tower, for example. So, presuming those decks have some prevalence in the metagame, may be useful to have access to 1 or 2 copies. Authority of the Consoles acts as your safety against the Saheeli Cat combo. You could go with Thalia, but in general, I think Authority is harder to deal with. There is less enchantment removal than there is creature removal, so I think that's safer. And finally, Scarab Feast is good against any decks which rely on their graveyard, or just against decks running Scrapheap Scrounger, for example. And usually you may find 1 or 2 zombies decks in the metagame relying on recurring cards out their graveyard, where Scarab Feast promises to be a very good addition to decks running black. So that's the deck tech. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. If you do like it, remember to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. There will be more Amonkhet standard deck techs coming out. Also remember, you can keep up with the channel on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. We have all of those. They are all at CheapAsMTG. Remember to follow, like, subscribe, whatever you do on social media these days. And yeah, do join us for future videos, and good luck at your Amonkhet pre-releases.